Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still with our coverage of the Egyptians abroad that continue casting their ballots at embassies and consulates in the second and final day of the rerun of the first phase of the House of Representatives elections. 30 constituencies and 10 governorates are included in the rerun of the first phase of these elections, competing for 58 seats. Heads of diplomatic missions abroad are supervising the voting under the umbrella of the National Elections Authority, and of course the governorates include constituencies across Giza, Beira, Alexandria, Minya, Asyut, Suheg, Fayoum, the New Valley, Aswan and Loser. And for more on the Egyptians abroad and their voting in the rerun of the 30 annulled constituencies of the House of Representatives, we're delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest, Dr. Mervat Khalil, Chair of the General Union of Egyptians Abroad. Dr. Mervat, good afternoon to you, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for your time. And let me start by asking you, how do you see the rerun elections abroad, and what is the take of Egyptian expatriates abroad on these reruns, and how keen are they to participate in them?
Well, to start with, we have to know that casting our vote is not only a right guaranteed to us by the Constitution,
yes,
but it's a responsibility and a national duty to help, which that help in shaping the policies of the state and give an impression to the whole world of the extent of the country's stability and this open new investment door to Egypt. So we are Egyptians abroad believe in that. So whatever is going to take, we are going to take part of the election just to shape our country policy. Participation, of course, you know, it was based on the destiny of the
yes,
Egyptians abroad in each country and their place of residence, of course, in Egypt, which is making it a bit difficult for some countries which the embassies is quite, or where they do the election, rather it's embassies or a center or whatever, it's quite far away in few countries, especially Europe and America, and it's a bit different than, you know, like Arab countries. Even Saudi Arabia, there are some, you know, like centers which are quite far from the Egyptians abroad, but we try all the time just to reach
yes,
where the elections are.
absolutely.
It depends also on, like, for example, a very large number of Egyptians, like in the Gulf countries, for example, come from southern Egypt, which is, you know, why there was a high volume of applications in the first phase. We all noticed in the election that there was kind of a lot of people just going there to try to put their votes because they have some relatives that they have one to support, which we all noticed that. You know, after the court avoided more districts, triggering renewing and new overseas voting, well, I can't deny it makes it a bit difficult for everyone just to keep going, especially maybe in Europe and Canada, America. Our time is really, really tight. So we went up till now. It's about 4 or 5 times just going and back to the MC, especially the ones which we have to, you know, re-elect again. But still, I can assure you there are still people, they just go in there. They have their own candidates they want to support. They have the idea of supporting the country. So, well, yeah, I can see hope in all these changes. The people now, they are, I can describe it as they have so confident in this election because they can see the changes. They can see that they are not going to tolerate, the government is not going to tolerate with any mistakes, with any misled. So hopefully, you know, this is going to be the end of it when we vote this time.
Indeed. Dr. Mervat, now, of course, turnout amongst Egyptians, as you said, abroad actually increased in some areas for the rerun. And tell me a bit about some of the factors that contributed to this change, aside from the fact that you said Egyptians, feel the transparency of the democratic process as a whole.
Well, of course, we heard about the irregularities, and we followed the Mr. President's decision, and that was, I think, it was the main issue when Mr. President, he looked at the whole situation.
Yes.
and he tried to show that there is a transparency in the election, and there is no toleration with any irregularities in the election, which is commendable. There is, and we saw the appeal in the court. I think that's what makes people,
want to go
forward for the election. They know that there is something really true about it. They know that there is an honest opinion. They know that there is respect for people's opinion as well. And whoever doesn't succeed in the first phase, so they all hope that they can succeed in the second phase. That's why we find different people going to elect. Whoever didn't succeed in the first time, they want them to succeed in the second time. That's why we see, like all the people are going to all the election centers, especially, which I can say especially in the Gulf area, where the most Egyptians abroad between Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Oman,
yes.
Jordan. Most of the Egyptian abroad just are, like the population there is really high. For the Egyptian, we're talking about a few million. So that's why you can see, I can tell, like most of the voters will be from especially this part. And we are really proud of the way the election turned out, and for the amount of voters they managed to go to all the embassies or even consulate or
yes.
even centers to do, what they think they should do.
Indeed. Indeed, Dr. Mervat, now speaking about the embassies and the consulates, we're talking about embassies and consulates having polling stations in over 117 countries all across the world. Tell me a bit about the role that the diplomatic missions have played in maintaining the smooth process as a whole, transparency during the rerun voting process, as well as educating Egyptian expatriates, encouraging them as well to participate in the rerun elections.
Well, there is clear cooperation between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Egyptian
diplomatic missions, yes.
The diplomatic and the election side, the National Election Authority, I mean. And the various state situations, including technical support to produce this civilized outcome. Therefore, I would like to thank actually the members of the diplomatic mission, especially in Britain and all over the world, to be honest, as as well His Excellency Ambassador Nabil Harashi, because we saw his continuously support to Egyptians, and he was there while they were live on TV, which actually is the first time we see the election live on TV. A meeting with all ambassadors around the world. It was kind of it's the first time all this happened. You can see how Egypt is developing to follow all the steps and all the paths for best country in the world, if I can put it.
Right. Indeed, Dr. Mervat, let's talk a bit about some of the new digital tools and the verification systems that have been introduced to streamline the voting process for expatriates. If you can describe specifically what happens from the moment an Egyptian expat gets to the embassy or the consulate, and the steps they go through and the time span it takes for them to cast their ballots.
Well, the embassies provides a very distinguished really service in terms of insurance and dealing with the elderly, and provides everyone with a suitable atmosphere to engage in the election. The time consuming inside any of the centers, I'm talking about Europe, is not exceeding 3 minutes by any means. They deal with any problems, will accuse. Maybe it's a bit, they take a bit longer time in the Gulf area and Arab countries because of the number of the voters are really high. We saw how it looked like in front of all the voting centers in Kuwait and in Saudi Arabia. That's why maybe it took slightly longer time. But in Europe and especially in Britain, it was very smooth. We didn't see any complications, and it runs really in a very professional manner.
Indeed. Tell me, Dr. Mervat, in your opinion, how does Egypt's approach to expatriate voting compare with other countries in the region, and the attention that Egypt pays Egyptian expatriates, allowing them this opportunity, as you said, to practice their constitutional rights?
Well, we didn't have, before, Egyptians abroad didn't have the right to vote. And since Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi came in power and gave us this opportunity to be able to vote and to be able to shape the politics and to have a hand and to have an opinion in whatever happening in Egypt. We are really proud of this, like this process. Also, we have 8 members of parliament. They are participating there to help and to serve Egyptians abroad.
Right.
That's really something make us very proud. That it's about time to look at these few millions abroad, which actually it should be done ages ago. Especially Egyptians abroad are a very important element in the economy in Egypt. So I think being a part of the shaping the politics in Egypt, that changes lots of things inside the Egyptian abroad mentality and how to be connected to their own homeland.
Indeed. And finally, Dr. Mervat, let's talk a bit about the role of the National Elections Authority and their coordination with the Foreign Ministry, as well as the embassies and consulates, with regards to providing them all logistic assistance, all the materials needed, the ballots, the papers, etc. How do you see their role in really dealing with the whole elections as well as the reruns, addressing all electoral safeguards to ensure a transparent democratic process?
Well, what I can see, because, like I've been to the embassy, even I only had to vote once because of my constituency. Just,
didn't have a rerun.
I didn't have to repeat that. But I have to be there because we do like a workshop in the union, and to follow all the elections and to see the steps of it and if there is any problems occurred. And most of our chair in different countries, we report to the TV about what's happening in the election. So that we have to follow it very closely. We didn't see anyone complaining. We didn't see any problems occurred. I can see everything going smoothly, as I told you. There is no problem, as I told you before. There is coordination between the diplomats and the embassies and all the people they are coming to do all their work in a very professional manner, and it's in a very professional way, which actually makes us all proud of, what Egypt now looks like.
Absolutely. And on that note, I'd like to wrap it up here and thank you very much. Our dear guest, Dr. Mervat Khalil, the chair of the General Union of Egyptians Abroad. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you with us this afternoon on Nile TV International. Thank you very much for your insight and for joining us in the afternoon's coverage. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we wrap up the coverage for the afternoon, as well as leave you at the top of the hour with the start of the evening's French transmission. Till then, you're in the company of myself, Angie Meher. Thank you for watching.